What is going on? You're listening to the Nintendo Powercast episode 147. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Player 2, no, there's no hate tonight. We miss you, buddy. Nightcrawler, what's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. Player 3, Destinaut, what's up, man?
Hate couldn't make it because he's playing that horse game. I hear he's like hay bales deep into it.
That game did come out, huh?
Yeah.
It did. Sick. Air quotes.
He said he's here in spirit. That's what he named his horse, I think.
Oh, I was going to say that.
No, he probably named it Epona. We know better. He loves
Seabiscuit.
Yeah. Player 4, Mel, what's going on?
Oh, pretty good.
Good. All right. Hey, that music you just heard is from On Being Human. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Remember, this is an unofficial Nintendo podcast. And if you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. The chair I'm sitting in from Opseat. You go to n64josh.com/OPSeat to automatically save $10 at checkout. Right now, all chairs are $20 off with free shipping. So go check that out. And lastly, guys, I have a new sponsor they're called Zest Tea. So if you go to n64josh.com/zest, you will get a coupon that will save you $5 on your first purchase. This tea is awesome. This is highly caffeinated tea. You have more caffeine in a cup of tea than you do in a cup of coffee. And the flavor that I've been drinking this week is pomegranate mojito, and it's pomegranate, green tea, lime, and mint, and it's super good. So that's n64josh.com/zest. With that, we can get to our announcements.
Hey, listen!
We do the show live on twitch.tv/n64josh, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, and on Tuesdays, like 4:30 on Thursdays. But this week's Thanksgiving, so I think I'm going to do the other show tomorrow night. Okay, so there you go. And then if you listen to the Smash Bros. Cast, I think that's also getting recorded tomorrow night. But it's going to be late at night. So like, if you can't make it live, we understand.
Throwback to OG.
Yeah, the OG days. That's right. So, my new Twitch streaming schedule, Monday through Thursdays, I start at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, playing Smash, playing Pokemon. It's been a really good time. You guys have been so supportive, and like a lot of people have been showing up. So I just want to say thanks for that. It's been awesome. Really, really cool. And Friday mornings, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we got our first look. This Friday, it's kind of up in the air because I got family staying with me. So I might kind of chill for the weekend a little bit. But, we'll see. We got some games to check out like Warframe and stuff. So with that, let's move on into our reviews and impressions.
Here we go!
All right. Well, 3 of us, which kind of surprises me that 3 of us in here played Pokemon. Let's go Pikachu, let's go Eevee. And one of those is not Mel. So, yeah, that Brian, what, like...
That was actually my Jigglypuff impression.
Oh, wow. That's...
I'll give like a 7 out of 10 for Jigglypuff right there.
Oh my gosh. So, Brian, I'm gonna have you kick this off. Like, what? You bought
like
this
what
game?
happened with you?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it wasn't on my radar at all. I've told you guys before, like I've never ever been into the mainline Pokemon games. They kind of came out probably like right at the cusp of saying like after my time, and just never played one. The only time that I did jump into a Pokemon game, and I don't really consider it like a Pokemon game, is Pokken Tournament on the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more of like a fighting game, whereas the traditional Pokemon is turn based. This was more of like a real time, I guess, fighter, like Street Fighter. Yeah. So I jumped into it. I don't know. I think it has its flaws. I mean, from what I understand, it's a remake of Yellow?
Correct.
So yeah, I'm sure it's like how faithful do you? I don't know how faithful it is. I mean, clearly I know that the graphics are different, but yeah, I wasn't super excited about the hand controls, and for me, there's times they're not accurate at all, I believe. So
I found that to be the case also.
Have you been playing Joy-Con, or did you get the Pokeball?
No, I'm a grown adult, so I have the Joy-Con. I didn't
Josh has 2. I only have 1. But
Only you make it sound like you only have 1, like it's a disappointment.
Hey, I walked my Pokemon today. I have no shame in that. It was in my pocket.
Okay.
No, I guess I didn't like how sometimes I feel like I didn't move my arm any differently, and it literally throws the ball sideways, and I'm like, oh, whoa, where did that come from?
Yeah, I had that problem too.
My favorite is when I actually angle my arm towards the direction that it should go, and it goes the complete opposite way. I was like, wait a minute.
Not only that, but he was like zooming that thing, like it's like 100 miles an hour. I'm like, what are you doing,
way
Josh?
past it?
Yeah, like he wants to knock him out completely.
I thought that was the point.
Well, like if you're trying to catch Onyx, you got to throw it way up there, and I never got like a good catch with Onyx.
Interesting.
So I do like it though, having never played a Pokemon ever. However, like many retro games, I find sometimes the tutorials are a little lacking. And maybe I've missed something, but I feel I wish there was a little bit better tutorial on the elements, just, other than the obvious, like water versus fire and earth versus
whatever. Well, Josh struggled even with some of those basic ones.
Yeah, but he learned through, trying stuff out,
Or berated by chat.
No, I always let him make his mistakes because he will understand why I have to. I'm just not giving him the answer.
You sound like a caring parent.
You just described my entire life.
Because there was one battle, he was fighting some kind of grass Pokemon, and I was like,
"We don't have to air all this out here, it's okay.
It's on the internet for the world to see."
That's true. Go ahead."
And he's like, "No, I'm gonna get like a water move." I'm like, even before he selected, I was like, he's gonna go. I know he's gonna go for that move, and he hits it. He's like, "That's not very effective. Why did I do that?" I was like, "Josh, plants
need water.
They need water. They're not. That's not gonna hurt it." But after he saw that, he's like, okay, I get it now. Now I know that happens. I'm not going to do that again. He learned something. And that's what the game does. It teaches you like that. It doesn't always throw it in your face.
I sent him a chart, and I think he was scared of it.
Dude, there were so many numbers and letters and reading.
Okay.
And I do think it's cool, because sometimes there are those games, that over teach you. And you feel like half the game's a tutorial, and so
are you talking about Xenoblade?
Yes. I'm still in the tutorial of that game. I think
you get I was gonna say you get a tutorial on Xenoblade at level 70.
So, but no, yeah. So I mean, I guess maybe I'm kind of maybe overthinking it that way, but I feel like this is more of a kids game though, right? Like, I don't think when this game came out, they were like, I wonder if 20-year-olds are going to love this. Like, I don't feel that was their market,
Yeah.
Nowadays, yes, because it's been around that long. But I feel like as a kid, am I going to know what's going on?
I think the shiny hunt and the post-game stuff, that's for the hardcore. Ish. I mean, okay.
That's pretty much for everybody at this point. Because these kids, they grasp on to these other concepts really fast. Because I remember as a kid, we didn't have this shiny hunting. We didn't have the battle arenas. We didn't have the abilities. We didn't have the natures. But once you start introducing these things to them, they will grasp onto them because they see the other kids doing it. They see the older adults doing it. And it adds layers of depth into the game. Because right now, you're pretty much just doing rock, paper, scissors, which is fine. That's always going to be the core base of the game. But there's layers within that, and within that. That's where it really opens up. You get really addicted to this stuff. It's just not in this one.
The thing is, I do think this game is for kids. I also think it's games for parents that grew up with Pokemon to introduce their kids to. Right? This is what I played on Game Boy, back in, the 90s, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Every time someone says that, like, I'm going to introduce you to my kid, it reminds me of the scene from Back to the Future 2, I think, where Michael J. Fox goes into the place and there's like arcade games there. And he's like, oh, I used to love this game. And he's like, pulls out the gun and he's shooting it. And the kids are like, oh man, you got to use your hands. This game's dumb.
For babies.
Like,
I think he said for babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know. I mean,
see,
Josh, you probably know more about this than anyone. I don't know how your kids react to some.
Well, my kids were like, games. Pokemon is for nerds, so they didn't want to touch it. That's literally what they told me.
They are correct, but
right?
It's still fun. Yeah.
But I have nephews who are 5 and 6 who, when I show up with 2 Pokeballs on Thanksgiving and hook my Switch up, they catch that first one and the Pokeball shakes and rattles and growls and everything, they're gonna lose their mind. Like they've never played Pokemon. Yet they love it. They maybe have seen the cartoon. I don't even know if that's the case, but for some reason they know about it and they love it. Like the Detective Pikachu demo ended up on his DS, 2DS. And so, he's like, I love this demo, but I need help. Like, I'm like, well, why do you love it? It's got Pokemon. Why do you love Pokemon? I don't know. I just do. They just,
that's what Nintendo wants right there. We don't even care if this person's into this as long as he likes it. We don't even care if he knows what's going on.
That's how I got like all of y'all to buy it. Y'all were into this.
Yeah.
And not only that, but y'all bought like the 2 versions, some of y'all, And
well, yeah,
Josh, were insane.
Some people went to GameStop at 9 o'clock or whatever it was. But the show is coming back on Twitch on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
so
I think
Josh has to watch an episode.
Seasons 1 through 5, I believe.
Yeah, they replay them too, so it's not like you miss certain episodes. You gotta look. They replay like every so often. I think it's like they do 4 hours intervals, and they replay like twice a day. And then like on Saturdays they do like a whole marathon, and then like a movie or something on Sunday. But yeah, it's the first 5 seasons.
Okay, so Monday morning, I tweeted out, real talk, how many of you have a Pokeball in your pocket right now? And the response I got to that tweet was unreal.
Unreal or un-PG?
No, it was totally like, there was just a ton of people that were like, oh yeah, I've totally, I'm leveling up something right now. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I forgot mine. That's basically what I was saying. So
I didn't bring one on Monday, but I did today.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of want to talk about that a little bit, like the just the Pokeball, right? Like it's very small. It's not much bigger than like a golf ball, really. And you've got the one analog stick that you can press in, and then it has another button in the front that you can't even really see. And then you can shake it for
Y,
and so I didn't even
analog
know.
stick in is A, the button on the top is B, and then shaking it is Y.
Yeah, so I didn't even know this. So I'm like, well, how do I even get? And then Crawler was like, just shake it. I'm like, okay, cool.
I had to look it up because I was like, because I was having to pull off a Joy-Con when I was wanting to do something when the Pokedex or anything else like sorting or doing stuff was saying press Y. I'm like, how are you supposed to do this with a Pokeball? So I looked it up, and I mean, I don't even know if the instructions that came with it even said that. I think it's just on like articles online and other people exactly asking the same question.
So, which, I mean, again, that's kind of the area that little tutorial would have been good for, right? A little more.
Yep.
The other thing, you can't like go back to your home screen with the Pokeball. You can't capture any video or anything. So you can't, like, I have my Pro controller sitting next to me, doesn't even connect, which that I don't understand.
I wish it could just sit idle and you could use that as your capture button and your home button.
Right,
but it won't even leave it powered on even when it's plugged into the system. I have it hardwired. And it won't even stay on.
It's an interesting choice that you can play the game handheld just by pressing the A button, but you can't use the Pro controller. That seems odd. If you have the ability to play the game handheld where you're basically holding a controller.
Yeah, and I think you could if they did add Pro controller support, you could do it just like how you do. I played just maybe 10-15 minutes last night handheld because I wanted to talk about it, and it's slightly gyro. So you're in the same screen that you are when you're trying just to throw the Pokeball, but you can aim it a little bit better, especially for like the Pokemon that are a little more chaotic on the screen, like the flying Pokemon that are kind of moving around. That I guess it's a better alternative if you don't want to waste a berry to try to calm them down. So you just move the switch, and then you press A when you're ready to go, and you just make sure it's kind of lined up where you want it to go, and it throws it at the perfect amount. So it's a better way to get those excellent catches, I guess, if you're looking for that. But the Pro Controller supports gyro, so it could do that exact same thing. Or you could even just throw the you could do that motion with your Pro Controller because it has it in it too, and you could throw the Pokeball that way. I forgot to check and see if you could try to catch Pokemon like Go style with like your finger. I didn't try it, but I don't even know if that's possible.
Yeah, Cayman 1200 from the chat says, I feel like that limits accessibility to the game as well. And I mean in a way that's going to be a turnoff for some people. Now, I think there's definitely some charm in playing with this goofy little Pokeball. Some people are saying it's, their hands get cramped after a while. I've heard that like
do more things.
Like
that's what's cramping your hands. I mean, go outside. I don't know. Read a book. Read a book would give you enough dexterity and physical strength.
They don't know what books are.
We listen to books.
And ebooks. Flipping pages in an ebook would give you enough strength and dexterity.
I didn't find that to be the case. It didn't bother my hand at all. Like I played 6 hours straight yesterday with the Pokeball, and I had no issues. So there's just that like I said, there's that extra level of charm to this thing. I'm 100% positive that each of you in here thought I would play this game for 15 minutes and that would be it. Am I wrong? No, right? I'm totally hooked.
I was gonna bully you into playing more.
Yeah, I was
counting down. I was like, it's only 15 minutes. He has to put it in his name. He has to read like the dialogue from the professor. I'm like, he's not gonna make it.
From Dr. Oak. And
Dr. Oak. Here's the real test. You said you played it for 6 hours straight.
Yeah, I'm over 10 hours.
I think Saturday I played it for close to 8.
Yeah.
Yesterday I played it for 1. Am I going to go back to this game? Yes, but I maybe I haven't hit a point where I'm like, I want to get to the next battle now.
I was gonna say, are you through the first 3 gyms?
First 2.
First 2. After the third, it slows down a little bit because you got to do a lot of stuff. And then you get to go take on the 4th gym eventually, but there's a lot of travel and it's not necessarily puzzle solving. It's fetch questy kind of stuff where you got to go to a place and do a thing and then go back to a place. And but if you want to, there's still guides for this game, and it's in essence yellow. I mean, so you can look up a guide for yellow.
Yeah, but it's the exact same layout.
Well, it's the exact same layout because I was doing something yesterday where I didn't want to go try. I didn't remember all the teleporters to get to a specific spot, so I just looked it up, and it was the yellow stuff, and it was like, oh, you'll fight your rival, and that brought out a glaring point that I kind of wanted to talk about, and it's the fact that your rival doesn't feel like your rival in this game. He's too chummy with you and nice. Like I named my rival Becker so I could say get wrecked Becker, and I don't get to wreck Becker at all. Like in this game, like you barely fight your rival.
But that's intentional. Like they know this, and they intentionally made that.
So I haven't seen an Elite Four battle yet, but like, are you going to fight Blue at the end of that, or are you going to fight your rival? I'm questioning that. I don't know.
You just have to see.
Spoilers.
I know the answer.
Spoilers for a game that's 20 years old. Come on.
We have to make sure Josh gets there. Come on. He's so close. He did 3 badges.
Just because I beat Yellow doesn't mean I remember any of it.
You can see Josh is like a little like gears turning in his head when he kind of remembers something out of the stream. He's like, yeah, I kind of remember. And he's like, a second later, no, I don't remember that.
I was say I am 23 and a half hours into it, at least via my in-game counter, which I think that counts just time sometimes when you walk away if you forget to turn off the game or something like that. I don't know if it counts pause. I don't know if it counts time in the pause menu or not, but my timer says 23 and a half hours. I'm 6 badges in. I've just gotten to, I think it's called Seafoam Island, if I remember correctly. So I'm cruising along. I am planning on beating the story, beating the Elite Four by this weekend.
I will say when I pulled the Switch out of the dock and played handheld, it was reminiscent of playing on the Game Boy, right? And that's the other thing too with the Pokeball. Like the controls are basically a D-pad and 2 buttons, which is also reminiscent of the Game Boy. So this game is very like the cost of entry is like, you know, it's very, very low, right? So like you were saying, Desna, this is for kids. You could literally, I think somebody posted in our Discord, like, is there a lot of reading? And I'm like, all I've done is press A and it's worked, you know? But I mean,
Josh is going to struggle here in about 2 hours in game when he doesn't know what he's supposed to go look for in a different city and go find it.
All right, well, see, you just mentioned that. I feel like I'm at that point now, and I feel that's why I said, like in the beginning, that I wish there was more tutorial, because I don't feel I'm using the elements to their advantages or disadvantages, and I feel like maybe my Eevee is slightly overpowered, and I'm just like brute forcing my way through battles.
Your starter is easily overpowered, and they give you moves to allow that too. Yeah,
and I kind of feel like I'm not doing it right, you know, and maybe that's why it hasn't hooked me yet, because I'm not.
See, you can do that though.
I feel like I'm not using the systems to my advantage and going like, I know that this guy is like water, or I know this guy is fire, so I'm going to use this Pokemon. I feel like I'm just like, I'll just throw Eevee in there and bite him 3 times.
You can also play the game like that. That's also correct if you want to do that, because it's built to where either option is correct.
Okay.
It's just, if you get more out of it doing the other way, you can just not use Eevee, but you're intentionally using Eevee because you know Eevee is strong. And see, the problem is with, especially kids, oftentimes they just use one Pokemon and they brute force their way through it. And then a challenge comes up and they don't understand what the game is trying to teach them. Like we saw this with Josh. Josh encountered.
Wait, we were talking about kids to Josh.
I feel like I'm watching a documentary right now. We saw this with Josh. He was in the wild. He didn't know what he was doing.
But it brings up an excellent point, though, because someone in chat yesterday, they were talking about like, oh, what are these moves that don't hit anything? These are like a waste of a move. Why should I select these as an actual move of mine? It's stupid. It's not a physical move.
That was me, and I said I was too aggressive to do that. I do know what they do, and I do know that there's advantages to them. And you talked about how it was advantageous for online battles or in-person battles, so that you need to use them against a human because it reduces accuracy and yada yada yada. I get it. But I like brute forcing my way through, and I have beaten.
You can do that in the game, though. That's perfectly fine because the game allows you to do that, especially if you overpowered yourself. So you never have a place where you're stuck. You know, you can beat the game, but you can also beat the game at a different advantage using these other things. But like I was saying, we saw this with Josh. Like his stuff got put to sleep. Like 4 out of his 6 Pokemon got put to sleep. And he was like, how do I wake this up? What do? I don't understand. Because the game was teaching him, like, hey, these moves actually matter. Like, hey, maybe you should have like Awakening on you, like just a couple on you. Hey, maybe you should, do something before they can attack that,
Is there an alarm clock Pokemon? Is that what's...
Not yet. Give him time.
Okay.
They have what was the random thing? Don't they have like a trash can or a pile of trash or something like that?
That's not in this one.
I know it's not in this one, but that is a thing, right?
It is a thing, yeah. There's different, there's like chandeliers, there's keys, there's gears, magnets. toxic waste.
Yeah, as I say, Nut Eye, as Josh affectionately calls it, is able to be in the game. I need to go do my work and go to get that.
Yeah, I'm very mad at Go for that because they won't let me have it. Like, it's taunting me because it's like, hey, you can actually get, like, you can get the one Pokemon they actually included new in this game that you love to do, and then the research mission thing is like, oh, catch a Ditto. I'm like, I have 3 Dittos. He's like, no, you got to catch a new one. I'm like, this game is stupid.
I have to. I'm on that point right now where I have to catch a Ditto.
I'm at 2 of 9.
I don't like the fact that I caught what's it called, Meltan or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I caught one on that weekend that they all just randomly showed up, and then they updated the game and said, oh, some of those that you caught, I only caught one, but they're like, oh, some of those that you caught might turn back into Meltan, and I wasn't lucky enough to get that. But
of course not, because you only did one. They wanted you to catch like a million.
So I have an extra Ditto sitting around.
Yeah, well, what is that good for?
Nothing.
Ditto. You can't do nothing in the game because you can't actually battle the correct way. You know, just saying.
So, but speaking of that, like, you guys were all, you guys remember when I learned how to use the orbs in Xenoblade, right? Because I literally pressed A too fast and didn't read anything. And so I didn't even know that orbs were a thing.
Yeah, the light bulb went off above your head.
When you guys explained it to me, I was like, this is so much more fun. Like, I was having way more fun. And as we were talking about it last night, like, yeah, you could just keep playing. I could just keep playing as Eevee and just, but like, now I want to understand, like, I want to have a better grasp of like what each of these, you know, how all the elements work and that kind of stuff. And like, basically have the chess match versus just being able to play like I normally would play anything and just destroy. You know?
Yeah. And for this game, this is like level 1 of the chess match because it doesn't have the extra stuff. But once you get like this stuff packed down, because pretty much like for Josh, I'm just going to use the Xenoblade example. You know, like how you just attack stuff like without the orb system. Like this game for me. It's just attacking the stuff without having the actual in-depth stuff like the normal games have. But once you get this down, I really do feel like you're going to really like the mainline games. Maybe even Brian.
You were also talking last night in chat about how you think this game is also going to set bad habits for people that maybe have lapsed in Pokemon or this is their first iteration. Yeah. It's going to set bad habits for Gen 8 when they get it next year.
Because, okay, this is just a couple of little things. Like, what happens when you send a Pokemon back to Professor Oak in this game? What happens?
You get candy.
You know what happens in the mainline games? You don't get anything. You just set them free. You don't want them. They're gone. You know, there's no little candy. There's still candy in the mainline games, but it's just like a level up. Like you just go up an extra level.
It's candy just the rare candy.
Yeah, it's just the rare candies. In this game, there's certain candies where you can go like, hey, I want my speed faster. Add the speed candy. I can just feed my Pokemon the speed candy, you know. That's not in the mainline games. Like when you fight the legendaries in this one, like, yeah, this is one of the few actual Pokemon you get to fight before you catch. You have to knock them out in this game. If you knock them out in the mainline games, you killed them. There is no.
Yeah, I think that's the worst thing that they could have done with this game. That is the worst habit to set for people because they're gonna kill legendary Pokemon when they get it back.
And if they save after that, they're pretty much screwed. You know, like they can't get it.
How exhausting is it? I've been seeing people do like the Mewtwo and the legendary bird shiny hunts, and the only way to do that is a save point and a hard reset. I think every single time.
That's what they've been doing. That's a thing.
That's exhausting.
That's a thing. They do the starters like that.
Game Boy booted up a little bit faster though.
They do the starters like that. Even people with Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon's intro is long as it can be, and they're just sitting there with like 3 little 3DSs. They all have capture cards going up. They're talking to the chat like, "Okay, let's get this shiny Litten, y'all," and they're going hours and hours and hours, and I'm like. And then when it finally happens, you know, like chat's going crazy, but this could take days. This could take weeks, months, years, you know, but it's a thing. This is what happens.
I saw a guy tweet out today that like, it looked like, is there a Fire Pony in Gen 1?
Yeah, I saw the same video. I was going to talk about it. It clipped his shiny clipped into a Rattata or whatever it is, and so they were both frame perfect in the exact same spot in the game, and he ran into it, and it happened to not be the shiny, and then the shiny disappeared when he came out of the fight.
Yeah, because that's what happens. If you don't get in, that's it.
Well, no, it only happened that because if the shiny had been like a pixel over.
Yeah, but he didn't touch it. He touched that, but he didn't notice he touched it because the thing was so lined up
frame perfect. Yeah.
But you can't go out and go back. That's
the clip is hilarious because he's like, "Mom, get the camera."
He would have had it if he just went straight to it, but he was excited. That's what happens sometimes with the shiny hunts. And it's even worse in this game because
it ruins your streak. And
that
didn't ruin it. That actually didn't ruin a streak.
But. Okay, it can. Yeah, that can happen. But it's worse in this game because I know this happened with Josh yesterday. He was trying to catch something and something ran away, and he was he's mad. He wasted like 20 Pokeballs and he couldn't catch this thing because he's like, oh, the stupid thing ran away. This is dumb. I hate this game. And I'm like, yeah, and. It sucks in this game because there's no way to prevent that. You are at mercy with this RNG. Like, yeah, you can use the balls. Yeah, there's the berries. But see, in the mainline games, there's abilities, there's moves. Like, there's a move called Moonlook. You use it, the thing can't run away. The only way that thing's leaving is if you kill it or it kills itself. So you can just do a whole bunch of different strategies trying to catch this thing. And like I said, you're going to get it or it's going to die. Some way. So I was like, yeah, see, I love stuff like that. This whole little it can run away thing is I'm just sitting there without using my cool Pokemon fighting. Like, why would I want to fight less? Like, please explain that to me.
Because your whole team gets XP.
Yeah, my whole team gets XP if I fight in the mainland. No, because there's this thing called...
It's been a long time since I played a
I know. They did a lot of things. They did so many things. Because on the surface, it looks exactly the same. But it's not. You have to actually play one of these other games to understand how things got, how many online things got added, how many things get taken away each game, how many things get added back. And this is my main problem with this game. I understand the focus, who it's targeting. It's just the beautiful thing about Pokemon is up until now, all of the games were for everyone. There's something in there for everyone. It might not be the main focus. It might just be little bits and pieces of things, but there was always something for everyone. Because when most people think about this franchise, the fan base, they think of, it's just two groups. It's the hardcores and the casuals. No, it's like 30 groups because those are the two main ones. But then within those, there's other groups. Within those, there's other groups. This is why there's always so much positive and negative reactions to these games, each and every single one of them, because there's so many different groups wanting to be covered. There were so many expectations wanted. And for now, the games, they've been doing this little compromise system where it's like, yeah, it's kind of both of them, but neither side is truly happy. So with this game, they pretty much focus on this Go style, on, the lapsed fans, of the Gen 1 only people, of, I don't like the random encounters, I don't like the battling, I don't understand, I don't need this extra stuff. And those fans are like, hey, that's all the fat, that's the fluff, I don't need that. But you have a whole bunch of other people like, no, that's not fluff, that's not fat, this is actually good. We get why you don't like this, but I can't have a game and I can't enjoy myself because there's not enough to it. People talk about this game's post-game, where it's the 150 battles, the master battles. But what happens if, I don't care about doing one-on-one battles? I don't care about being the master trainer of Caterpie. Because I don't give a crap about Caterpie. I don't hate the guy, but do I want to be a master trainer of this? No. I'm going to do my team, I'm going to do Dragonite, Gengar, and that's probably it, I'm going to be checked out of there, I'm going to be gone. And see, with this one, it's pretty much saying, okay, we're going to probably most likely have this line of games only for this people. And for someone like me, there's just not really anything to go from it. And it's disappointing because Pokemon is not just one of my favorite gaming things. It's one of my favorite things of all time. So I really love to experience it. Like, I didn't even play anything this week. I was just going around talking about Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm kind of removed from it, right? Like, I don't really know what the community's about. Like, I play it on my phone. I played Yellow like 17, 18 years ago, like a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how many years after Red and Blue it came out, but
yeah, I think
I think it was like 2000 when I played it. So,
it's when like Gold and Silver came out.
Yeah, I was a little behind. So, but I got the vibe from this game. I got the same vibe I got from a little bit from Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild to me really felt like the basically what they always wanted the original Zelda to be is what Breath of the Wild was, right? Like, it was like, it just, they start you off and you just go and you go where you want to go and you figure it out and you collect stuff along the way. Odyssey had all this throwback stuff in it, like to the 8-bit stuff that I was like, man, this is just, it feels like they're, like the love letter to the fans. That's kind of how this kind of how Let's Go feels to me a little bit. I mean, I know there's some gimmicks to it, right? The whole catching the Pokemon the way you do and that kind of stuff and the lack of fighting. I understand all that. But even just walking through these areas, and like I said, it's been like 17 years since I played Yellow. But even walking through, I'm like, oh, I remember what this looked like on the Game Boy. Like, it still kind of scratches that nostalgia itch, which maybe I have that worse than most people.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really appreciate that part of it. Like, what I'm surprised by is that the fans of the series aren't like, wow, this is kind of, because I mean, look, when you play Game Boy, it was almost like reading a book. Like, you've got to kind of imagine what things are going to look like, right? It's like going back
God
to it.
God forbid you read a book Josh, and imagine things.
But you understand, right? And this is
I love that.
This is the, like, now you get to see what they probably wanted it to look like all along. Right here.
Yeah. And well, I mean, on Friday more so than later on the weekend, because I think later on the weekend, it was more about the shinies and that kind of stuff. And people had breezed through the game already. But I remember on Friday, I saw a lot of people kind of posting side-by-side shots of Game Boy captures, right, and what it was in Let's Go. And that was pretty cool to see.
And for me, I'm not a hardcore Pokemon fan, I cannot wait for the next game now. Like, I'm so hyped to jump back in, because I tried X, I tried Moon, and I just felt like I just didn't have the drive. I didn't have the like, I was just kind of like, what am I doing here? I got to the first gym and I'm like, I still have to go grind more, but this isn't even that fun for me. Like, it wasn't. Whereas in this one, I'm just like, I guess because of the phone game, getting more familiar with stuff and kind of like, oh, this is just a little more familiar.
And it is a little over, like they said, I feel like it is set up to let you succeed a little bit if you just understand it just on the very base surface level.
That's all of them.
Okay. I mean, I feel like
great, then I'm terrible.
I feel like I one shot a Pokemon 3 levels above me, which I don't know if this is because I understood the matchup, but I don't know if the one shotting is more so this game, or if is that kind of how they've moved to, if you know the rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock, all the matchups against it. That's because it is not just rock, paper, scissors. It is rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock, all that jazz. But if you know it, is it allowing you just to steamroll stuff if you have that matchup? Okay.
Yeah, if you understand the matchups and if you understand how to get out of certain situations,
I have Ruby sitting here in front of me. I have Platinum, and I have not played them.
Because again, this is a target audience for kids. So all
they just got to be able to read.
They just have to. It's kind more about comprehension more than reading.
Yeah, I mean, and this game has gotten me excited for.
That's why I like it
for Gen 8. I mean, I know that Black Friday deals I think are going to have Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon on sale for like $17. I think I'm going to pick it up and maybe try it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You probably have to ask a lot of questions, but we'll help you out. No, because I
got a big old Discord of 500 something people to ask questions.
Because, like I said, it doesn't look like it on the surface, but once you start playing these things, there's a lot of stuff to it. And I know they want this Let's Go thing to get people their feet wet and get familiar, so they can go and jump into Gen 8. It's just like I don't know how properly prepared they're gonna feel jumping from Let's Go to Gen 8, because there is a lot of stuff.
I think it was you that was telling me that I needed to play my copy of Platinum because that was the better place to jump back in.
That's just my personal favorite. That's how I jumped back in, because this is basically just a very short little story of how I got in and out. Because I played Blue like 10 times, you know. So I did. Yeah, because it was one of my favorite games, you know? So I was like, I'm going to do like every single Pokemon, like level 100. I'm going to catch them all. I'm going to do... And I did... Every time I beat the game 10 times, I used a different team. So that was 6 different Pokemon each time I used. I'd never used it once. And like, I was doing crazy stuff. Like Lance, he has like 3 Dragonites. I was using Farfetch. Farfetch is this little bird with like a little leech leaf. Yeah. I used him to beat every single one of his dragons. Like, I didn't have to. It's incredibly stupid to do. I had better things I could use, but I wanted to do it because I could, because I figured out a way. But anyway, so, you know, I burnt myself out playing this game. And back then, you know, I didn't have the internet, you know, there was just magazines and just kids talking, like on the playground. And I had the TV show. And the TV show just ended where Ash lost the league. You know, he didn't win. So that's where the show was supposed to end. But like, hey,
Ash isn't a very good Pokemon trainer, is he?
No, that's also intentional, but it's so stupid. Because, you know, they try to make...
He loves them, but he's not good.
He's not, no, he's not. No.
I understand.
And then they kind of gypped him last... like, he actually should have it, but they just made him ashified instead. But anyway, my main connection to the games, you know, information and stuff back then was this TV show. And when that season ended, the next season started up. It was called The Orange Islands. Now, you know, old fans know what the Orange Islands are. The Orange Islands are literally filler, because that was the point of time where it's like, oh, we got to hurry up and make some episodes, because we didn't think this thing was going to pop off. We didn't think, you know, this was going to be like a major thing for the next generation. So, you know, they're working behind generation with all the fighting and all the stuff, because the Orange Islands is like, we're going to race. We're going to like shoot soda cans with Squirtle. I'm like, where's the fighting? Why are you not fighting? And then like, I gave them like 8 years old at the time. I'm like, if there's no fighting in this next episode, that is it. I am done with this. Sure enough, there was no fighting. So I was like, forget it. No more Pokemon for me. And I waited 10 to 12 years like after that, because I thought the games were still just this simple rock, paper, scissors thing. And I thought they just added new ones. I'm like, y'all are stupid. There was nothing to this game. Like, I was bored of it because I did 10 times. I saw all the matchups. I was like, I know everything. Why are y'all playing this? And like, oh, it's the best thing ever. I'm like, no, y'all are stupid. So, like, I was like 16, 17 now. And I was at Best Buy because it was buy 2, get 1 free sale. Okay. So I knew 2 games I wanted. I knew I wanted Chinatown, you know, Grand Theft Auto, Chinatown Wars. I wanted Starfy, the legendary Starfy. And I was like, man, I need another game. And I was like, I don't know what to get. So I was going to get like Rhythm Heaven or Pokemon Platinum. And I was looking at Pokemon. I was like, man, these Pokemon games, they retain their value. So if I get this, I can just sell it. So I was like, that was my thing. That's exactly why I got it. It wasn't because the box looked cool, because it wasn't like I was missing Pokemon. I was like, no, I'm going to sell this. I'm going to come out ahead. I can get like a new game after. So,
it's got a bug on the cover.
It's like this big buggish, like time dimensional thing. Whatever. No. It's awesome, but whatever. I didn't think so at the time. I was just like, it's money. That's what I thought. So, I went back home. I played my other games, and like went by. I was like, if I open this, it's still going to retain really good value. So let me open this. So I opened it. I played like an hour. I'm like, yeah, still the same old crap. Like a couple more days went by because I was bored. I was like, okay, let's try this crap again. I'm going to punch it in there. And then all this stuff started happening and I didn't understand. So I went online like, hey, nerds, what's going on here? Like I was doing a whole bunch of Josh moves and I didn't get it.
Oh,
did you call them nerds when you
Yeah, I did.
Look, nerds, what do I do?
Yeah. I went, hey, Pokemon, because I was a part of this little community. They each had like different boards. So I went to the Pokemon board. I'm like, hey, nerds, hey, Pokemon nerds. Like, what's happening here? Why am I losing? Why am I dying? Like, why can't this thing fly? Why do I have to evolve this? Like, I didn't understand anything because so much has changed.
There's things in my bag in Pokemon Go that I have no clue what they do. I know they evolve a Pokemon. I have no clue what.
I was like, I don't know which one. Like, oh, do I have to stay underneath the sun? Do I have to do it at night? Like, do I have to pray to the moon? Pokemon Go? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Please help me. So, I was playing through this game slowly. I was getting advice, and then once I got like near the end, it finally started clicking. I'm like, hey, this isn't just rock, paper, scissors anymore. There's other things here. I'm like, hey, this is actually kind of cool. I was like, hey, I remember this little Pokemon dude. He turns into this now. This is a whole bunch of new stuff. I'm like, because like back then, like I knew everything when I was playing Blue. Like I knew exactly which route they were coming out. Like I was like, this one's gonna pop out of this one. He turns into this. When I played Platinum, I was like, what the crap is this? Like, I don't get it. I was like, why is this thing that looks like a tree a rock? Like, why is this bird a dragon? Like, I don't, like, how drag? Like, please explain to, And it just opened up a new world for me. And it wasn't something I was expecting. I wasn't expecting to like it again because I thought this wrongful misconception. I thought it was just this simple thing over and done again. But that is the foundation. But it's so much more than that now. And that's what I hope people get into. I hope they stick with it a little long enough because it's a learning curve, I'm not going to lie. It is, because it's a lot to take in. But I feel like once they get really into the thing, it's going to be like Josh with the orb system in Xenoblade. He's like, yes, I want to do this thing now. I want to try. I want to learn everything. Just learning these new things, that was like half the fun for the game for me. Just understanding these new concepts, understanding and appreciating these functions that I didn't have before. Like, my mind was completely blown for trading because you can trade online with that game. That was like one of the first games the series can do that. Because beforehand, I had to pay Charles 25 cents to trade with his little Game Boy cable because he was the only one kid in class who had it.
He was entrepreneur in school. Wow.
Yeah. And then when it came to my turn, I already paid him. The teacher caught us. I was like, hey, give me my 50 cents back because it was 25 cents. Come on, I had two.
It was per transaction.
Yeah, per transaction. Each Pokemon was one. So I was like, Charles.
Was it to trade with him?
Yeah, because you needed to trade. Because it's like I wanted.
It was trade and trade back.
Yeah, it was Kadabra, and I wanted Haunter. I wanted Gengar. So I was like, I need these two trade. I'm like, come on, Charles, it's my turn. I paid my 50 cents. So she caught us. She's like, hey, are you exchanging money here? I'm like, just Pokemon, not money, Miss No. She's like, she took like the Game Boy cable. Like, she didn't even take the Game Boys. She somehow knew that cable so much, and she like bundled it up and put it in the desk drawer. And Charles is looking at me. I'm like, you should have just traded faster. You know how to do it, Charles. I want my 50 cents back. And she's like, I thought you didn't pay money. I'm like, That's for something else. I gave him milk money, He still never gave me my 50 cents. I'm still out. And I never got this Pokemon from him.
Track him down and charge inflation.
I know. I'm telling you. But when I got to Platinum, I was like, you know what? I can just use this global trade center. I don't need Charles anymore. I don't need to pay anybody. I can just type in this little computer. I'm like, hey, I want a Ponyta. Give me this. Here you go. Done. Or I can just add somebody I can just add Josh or something. Like, hey, do you have this thing? It's like, yeah, I got this thing. Trade back. But like at that time, I was like, whoa, I got this Pokemon from Japan. This is cool. This is amazing. I love this.
Isn't there something though now you instead of paying 50 cents to Charles, you have to pay money to Nintendo to keep Pokemon on? Isn't there some kind of online Pokebank or something like that?
Okay, so the Pokebank isn't really a trading thing. It's just an extra storage thing. Because you know how in the game there's a storage box where your Pokemon, like all your extra ones that are not in your party, go into? Well, the game gives you like 20 or 30 boxes for most mainline games. And that's not enough. So they're like, hey, here's this box. You can pay $5 online. You can put your stuff in. You just hold them all nice and tightly,
I was going to say, that's a quality of life in Let's Go that it's just all Pokemon are on you all the time. You don't have to go to the Pokestores.
Yeah, that's something we've been at.
So do you think that's going to come in Gen 8 then?
Yeah, little things like that I wish appeal. Like, I wish that would appeal. I wish the Pokemon on the overworld would appeal. But I don't want just Pokemon on the I want the random encounters still. Like, I know that's iffy opinion, but I
think it's funny that there's repels in this game, even though you can avoid random encounters.
See, you know what that shiny Ponyta dude should have did? He should have used repel, and then he should have just went to Ponyta. That's what he should have done.
So Snake Eyes is saying the Pokebank is like $5 a year, and it lets you bring Pokemon from one generation to the next, starting with Pokemon Black White.
Yeah.
So my question is, since the DS no longer goes online, can you still put the Black and White into Pokebank?
Yeah,
does it only go one generation forward, or can you bring it anywhere?
It's you pretty much going forward.
But the system you're playing on still has, so like if they cut the 3DS online, your Pokebank is.
They aren't going to do that anytime soon, though.
Yeah, it's going to be
no. But some says there's still a transfer app on the 3DS, right? For Black and White. There you go.
Yeah, it's still up. It's just
perfect. You just couldn't do it from a regular DS.
And for now,
can you play Black and White through the eShop then? On a 3DS, you'd have to
buy the game.
The cart.
You have to buy the
it was Black and White as a DS game.
Yeah, they were actual DS games because Game Freak was like, "Hey, we're not done with the DS yet. Screw that 3DS crap." Because Game Freak is like the number one company. Like, no, we're not gonna move. We're moving already. Like Nintendo can be like over, like bribing them piles of money. Like, please come in and out. Like, we're not ready yet. That's why it surprised me when they came out and said, this 3DS stuff, we're done with it. Because it can't let us do what we want to do with it. Because the Let's Go games we have now, they actually came out really early and during a life cycle for a Nintendo handout. And yes, the Switch is both, but in this case with Pokemon, it's a handheld. So, because usually when Pokemon comes out, this handheld versions, they're in like the 30 to 40 million sold mark, But for this, it's like, hey, we're pretty early. And the sales for this game, reflecting that, it's doing amazing.
Well, it's moving systems.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, I saw so many streamers. I saw so many streamers tweeting out, hey, I want to thank my community for buying me a Switch so I can play this. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like, I saw it a number of times. Some streamers that I'm like, you finally have a Switch we can play together, so... I'm looking at
right
you,
now,
Lauren.
Right now,
Team KK.
Right now, I think the games are around traction on remake levels, and remake levels are like 8 to 9 to 10 million sold mark. So that's pretty good.
Were you tweeting about that yesterday, or was that in Discord where you were talking about?
I probably did both.
Do you think there's going to be a secondary team at Game Freak that kind of just works on putting out?
Not necessarily a second. I think it's still going to be because Game Freaks themselves not that big. I don't think they're going to split off But I do think they're going to have this as an alternate mainline game. Because right now, they're tiptoeing around. They're like, hey, it's a mainline, kind of like a spin-off. But it's really like a mainline game. There are just certain elements that we don't have now in the actual mainline games. But again, this is going for a totally different audience. It's going to exclude some, like myself. Like, there's nothing they can do for Let's Go that's going to make me go out and buy this. Because the things I want, those people don't want. And these things are not compromises. It's either you get this or you don't. But I do believe they're going to have this as a second night. Like, I think we're going to go see Let's Go to Johto. I really do.
Oh, I don't have any doubt in my mind. At least while it's on the Switch,
already made, quote unquote. I mean, it's the story's written. You just gotta.
They have the engine.
The engine's there now. Like, this is easy money for them. So, because
I do think Gen 8 is gonna have a different styling look. It's not gonna be vastly different, but they're gonna have a different visual look. So it's like, hey, these are.
Well, yeah, Pokemon won't be wandering around on screen for you to go catch.
I thought it was going to look like Gears of War. Honestly, I thought that's what they did.
the pop version of Gears of War.
The pop version.
Yeah. Well, hey, this is 1 hour. This is the Nintendo Pokemon cast, and I found out while we were recording, I don't work tomorrow, so I will actually be recording the solo NPC during the day. I'll get all the news stuff for you guys, so you'll just have to wait a little bit. But I think we're gonna call it right there. So, you have so much.
Yeah, I know. I can go.
Well, you'll still
I didn't get the game, but I can go on fast.
I know. I love it. That's why she's like our Pokemon expert, guys. Like that's part of the reason she's here to pick up that slack where I'm like, why are they all asleep? Wake them up. What's the problem?
So next time you go to a store, you're gonna buy at least one awakening. If you see it, you're not just gonna buy all your money with balls.
But it's just another game where Josh is broke.
Yeah, because I have to bring that up really quickly. Josh made me realize something in this game. You have to pay to grind because grinding is catching. You don't get experience from just fighting in the wild Pokemon. You have to catch things to grind. And if you go through all your balls and you don't have any money, I'm like, oh, they can't actually grind. This is actually a problem for kids if they don't understand competition, like the element system, or if they didn't brutally force one Pokemon altogether. I was like, holy crap, this is an actual problem for some people.
I also, there's going to be a point where you run out of money in this game too, because you won't have any other trainers to go, unless I guess you can go back and fight the Elite Four over and over again.
Yes, okay. That's going to be your moneymaker.
Yep. Okay.
Or you can walk down tunnels and watch Eevee's tail go. Yep. Then you can pick up nuggets and pearls and sell those.
Hopefully you get that. No, and Josh, you're like, oh,
it's just a nugget. She's like, it's worth like 10 grand. I'm like, oh, that's like 100 Pokeballs.
It is only 5 grand, but yes.
Well, he had 2 of them.
Oh, I had 2. That's why. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, a little scoot off them.
Mels, where can we find you?
In Discord, probably talking about Pokemon.
Oh yeah, I love it. She's so passionate. It's great. Crawler, where can we find you, bud?
Hanging out in the Discord or Twitter, Nightcrawler724 without the E. Also, sometimes on Twitch, not very often, and then on the Smash Bros. Cast, will be early this week. Look for it. We'll be live probably. Are we going to go live tomorrow night?
Yeah, as long as you can.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. Destin, how about you, bud?
You won't find me on Pokemon Let's Go
anymore.
It didn't hook me. Just didn't hook me. Looks like some people it hooked. Some people don't even play it and they're hooked.
I'm just hooked on talking about Pokemon. Not the game. I'm not gonna play ever. You can't make me.
But like I said, maybe not quite my audience. Or I'm not quite the audience. But no, you can find me in the Discord as well. And 64 Josh's Discord, and might see a change of scenery next week. We'll see, and then maybe next week will be the jumping off point for those Sunday streams.
Ooh,
that's the plan.
All right,
see what happens. I'm not going Black Friday shopping. That's just insane. You people are insane if you go.
Just do it online.
I'm judging.
All right, guys. Well, if you want to follow me, it's at N64Josh on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're at. I'm there. Snapchat, all that stuff. This show you can follow at NPowercast. The show notes for this episode will be n64josh.com/NPC147. You can email the show, npc@n64josh.com. And remember, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. You get yourself a free book from Audible plus 2 Audible originals. So that's $3. So go check that out. And then if you sign up, it's $15 a month after that. The chair I'm sitting in from Opseat, go to n64josh.com/Opseat to automatically save $10 at checkout. Last I checked, the chairs were $20 off right now with free shipping. And I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of Black Friday sale or Cyber Monday thing. So you can keep checking back for that. And remember that tea I mentioned at the beginning, the Zest tea. It's like more caffeine than a cup of coffee. I'm absolutely loving it. I feel really good drinking it. If you want to save $5 on your first order, you can go to n64josh.com/zest. And yeah, if you want to join the Discord, n64josh.com/Discord, come hang out. We are almost to 600 people. Like, it is a party in there. We're playing Smash, we're playing Fortnite, we're playing Rocket League, we're playing Pokemon, and we're talking about weird stuff and getting under each other's skin and having a really good time day in and day out. So come hang out and listen to people talk about how Ocarina of Time is overrated and watch hate lose his mind. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye now.